Let's get it in, fam. What's up, family? Let's get it in, right? Welcome to Verbal Creek Radio, where we give you a verbal image of life, and we are everyday people. Like to welcome you out to the show, right? African, African Americans, Nigeria, Nigerians in America, and the Essence Festival. Jollof rice, jambalaya, gumbo, whether you put okra in your gumbo or not, or how you make it, red beans and rice, rice and peas, oxtails. What are we saying, man? What's going on? Look, let me explain something, right? All right, let me get on Nigeria first, right? Nigeria was considered part of North Africa. A lot of Moors came out of Nigeria who helped conquer Portugal and Spain. You had Lagos, Portugal first. You got Lagos in Nigeria, right? Because the Moors was traveling back and forth from what they call now Nigeria to Portugal, from Portugal to Spain. And so when the Moors got defeated in Spain, they went back. They went to Lagos, Nigeria. They came to America. They came to Cuba. They were in Puerto Rico. They were all throughout South and Central America. Was the Moors. Now, one thing we got to look at, and we might have to reconsider, is that when they deemed the term slave, right? Although the Moors was defeated and some was prisoners of war, uh, when slavery began and became legal, then that was a term used to describe all the Moors and all the black people that was already in Mexico, already in Cuba, Puerto Rico, uh, in the Americas, right, and throughout Central and South America, North America. They called them slaves. That was a new title. So when they say slave ships, the blacks in Mexico came on slave ships, no, not or they were slaves that came to Mexico, no, from Africa, no, they were already there, right? Okay, now we got that straight, right? That's why when you look up the term white, it has North Africa as well, right? All the North African countries and as race goes under the title of white. You can look that up. Okay, now Nigeria didn't become or didn't get its name until 1897, and a white woman named that. Stop. I just want to let me say that again. A white woman named Nigeria, right? Now, what does that have to do with the Essence Festival and African Americans, right? All right. It just proves that no matter where you at on this planet, if you were a melanated being, you had been touched and poisoned by the colonizer, right? See, the colonizer goal always been to divide and conquer, right? And I'm sure how they do that too, right? So they'll take a Nigerian Tom, right? And they'll take an African American Tom, right? They give them a little money, put them in a position, right? And the whole purpose is to divide and conquer. Why would, from what I'm understanding, why would someone that understands African American culture in America would be at an Essence Festival and want to compare who has the best rice, jollof or jambalaya. Wait a minute. That means, wait, first of all, it goes to show that you didn't study, right? Or if you did study New Orleans and the Essence Festival and the culture and the history behind it, you know how food is important in New Orleans and how they take their food and their cooking serious. So either you didn't care or somebody sent you to start it to create a divide and a conquer so they can move in and make money off of both of us warring on both sides, right? Right? Because it's been done so many times and we keep falling for it though, but it's not their fault. If we keep falling for it, it's our fault today, right? Okay, now check this out, right? African Americans, Nigerians, and any other melanated race, right? They the division, right, and the fighting, one reason is so the colonizer can know who's who now, right? Because we starting to mix so much, and a lot of the Africans who are second and third generations in America, they losing that accent and they're not wearing the dress anymore. They dressing like Black Americans because why? Black Americans set the tone and the culture and the style across the globe. So now the colonizer can't tell. It was a time you could tell by last names, right? But you got a lot of African Americans who's changing the colonizers' last names and picking up uh, indigenous African Black last names across the globe, right? So he can't tell who's who no more. So he got to go in to the Black community, right, and create a rift so we can say no, they're Africans because they do this, and they say okay, now I can tell. He can tell me that's a Puerto Rican because they do this. That's a Dominican because they act like this. That's a Haitian because they act like this, right? Right. That's a Panamanian. You just go on down the line, right? That's a black Mexican from Veracruz, all of that, right? But the fact of the matter is, he couldn't tell if you didn't say nothing. That's a black person from Belize. He don't know. But we full of that, since we've been divided and we've fallen for so many tricks, and you have a percentage. It's not what it used to be in the 50s, 60s, and the 70s, 80s, because it's thinning out. But you still got a percentage of Black people who still have that slave mentality, so they think like Black folks thought under oppression, right? But I'm just here to tell you it's 2025, and there is no oppression. It's about the power of the mind. Now we're in a whole different atmosphere and position today than what we was 400 years ago, right? So our thinking and our minds have to reflect the current time and the current positioning that we are currently in and what they call on this planet. Let's say that, but on this rock that we standing on. A new movie, Blood on the Rocks, coming soon. I just had to get that out. So, yeah. So, don't fall for. Just be quiet. I said, just be quiet. Everybody be quiet and sit back and just let things take its course. Just sit back and just let it ride out, right? Don't fall for it. Don't get involved, right? Because it's only so the colonizer can tell who's who, so he can put one against the other, so the fighting can come. He gonna make money selling guns. He gonna make money broadcasting it. He gonna, I mean, it would be a whole topic, right? But we let's play it out, right? FBA and who should get who should get reparations? Who should? Now look, bro, come on, man, come on, bro, come on, man. I mean, think about it, bro. Think about it. I mean, I want y'all to really seriously think about it, right? First, they put 40 acres in a mule on the table, right? Then they've been promising reparations, right? You trying to hold somebody who doctored up a religion, Christianity, was here, put white Jesus in there, put the angels in there, white, everything in there, white, right? Then gave it to you, right? And then when he gave you, because he wouldn't let you in his church, so you had to start your own church, right? Then wherever you started your church, he dropped the liquor store right across the street from it, right? You mean to tell me you're going to trust someone who has that history to now, all of a sudden, do right by you? I mean, I just, come on, really? You really think they're going to do right by you? I don't know. I'm just asking this question. They might have turned over a new leaf. They might have changed their ways, right? I mean, I'm not going to hold my breath, but if some of the leaders believe and some people actually think that they'll give reparations simply because we asked for it, don't work like that. In order to get reparations, right, you have to present analytical, solid, justified reasoning on why reparations should be paid to repair an injustice that was done on a people over 40, 50 years ago that established what we now call America on the backs of the original man and woman that was already here, on the backs of the original man and woman that came here on slave ships, and then coupled together and gave them their name, slaves. Right? So now that means you have to put your investigative hat on and your attorney's hat on and dive into this thing, right? And then you have to have it worded in a way that when you present it to the colonizer, he's backed in the corner and can't deny it, right? Because if he denies the truth, then he's denied himself. So that's what has to happen, and that's what has to be presented, right? But the point I'm making is, man, it's asinine for melanated people to point the finger and fight amongst and against each other when the person who oppressed and colonized see you all as just one. Right? Don't make no distinction. You go up and telling me no black and I'm not black and they can't tell, man. They don't give a damn. Ask some of the Nigerian brothers if they face racism in America. Right? Right? They don't know. They can't tell who's who. You know, we can. Right? And that's the problem. We allowed them to create these little nuanced differences amongst us, or We created it so we can say, hey, look at me. I'm not them. Why? I'm not them. Why? I don't know what they do over there. Well, why? I don't. Why, if you did, now you got commerce, you got trade, you doing business. Now you speaking the language of business. You have to. Okay, let's put it like this. And I stated this before. AI is coming, and AI is real, right? Why you have these petty fights about the differences, because both sides getting played. The Africans getting played, the African Americans getting played, the Central North South. Black people on the planet getting played because they're going to put you against each other. And while you around here fighting and squabbling, they over here building, getting AI ready, putting patents on it. And so by the time you get through fighting and you wondering why so much has changed, and now you're gonna need this in order to operate, and you realize that wait, they already ahead of the game. These are the new rules. These are new laws. But when did that happen? How did that happen? Now, let me show you something too. Another aspect. You got some African leaders out there that's uniting, and they didn't like when you putting certain European embassies out of your country, right? That poses a problem. Let's say that a problem. Well, it's not a problem, but it poses a problem to some, right? And so the thing is, wow, what if, because they start seeing a lot of blacks in America rooting on Traore and Malema and others, they saying we can't now. We gotta get them fighting against each other. What is going on, right? Now, you can't hate the player, hate the game. You gotta understand that's a the that's a strategic move on their behalf. You gotta stop thinking that decisions that they make is for your benefit. Give you an example. In Kerrville, they had a camp called Camp Mystic, and I'm pretty sure you guys saw this on the news, right? And that camp was opened in 1926, right? That camp has been operating for 99 years, right? A lot of your political leaders either has been a counsel or counselor at the camp, or they went to that camp, or they had some type of involvement in that camp. And I'm talking about it for political leaders. Think about this. Political leaders been going to that camp since it's opened in 1926. And black folk haven't heard of it. Didn't even know it existed. They were shocked like, what, wait, who camp? They've been doing this for how long? Who went here? Well, why we never heard of it? And wait a minute. They ain't got no black people at the camp? Not none? Right? That's what's trending. That's what people are saying. That's what they're talking about, right? But you ever heard the saying, I can show you better than I can tell you? They're not sitting around here waiting on black folk approval or trying to include black people. They moving forward with their plans for their people and how they want to shape and create their future. We can't be wondering and worried about what they got going on, right? You have to only be concerned with what you have going on and what you're trying to build, right? And oh man, okay. Look, this just hit me, but I gotta drop this too. Look at this. Relationships. Look, man, this is not the 1950s and 60s and 70s when it comes to relationships, right? Women don't even dress the way women dressed back within that time period. Men don't dress the way men dressed back in that time period. Things has changed, right? Ladies, you have to understand where you're at. Fellas, you gotta understand where you're at, and you get people that's around the same frequency that you're on, right? Because if you are a young lady and you got money on your mind and you saying, well, hey, wait a minute, I want to marry a rich individual. That's my career, and that's how I'm gonna ride life out. I want to live like a princess, right? But you haven't studied how to become that woman, right? And you haven't had the example of being that woman within your family, right? So it's like you want a job that you don't you didn't go to school for, you don't have the training for, you're not qualified for, right? But you walk in there still wanting the job, right? The odds of you getting that job is like, although somebody might have a heart, one person said, okay, we're gonna try you out, right? And now you in there and they waiting for you to do what they're looking for, that type of person who is filling that position, for you to do those type of skills, right? And they wait. And you looking like, okay, you waiting for somebody to give you instructions on what to do, right? Then when they do give you the instructions, you looking at them and you going through seeing what you gonna do, what you're not gonna do, or I ain't doing that. Why y'all want this done? And you know what they're gonna do? You sure right, divorce. Psh, you go find and do your thing. Right, okay, right. It doesn't work like this. Same with fellas too, man. Fellas too. You know, you can't get mad at women that went to college and got their degree and they're visionaries. They focused on their goal oriented, right? And so you come along and you seeing body and she fine and you thinking it just stopped right there, right? Cause she's waiting for the next. Okay, what's the next move? Right, I gotta, I gotta make. Can you budget? You know how to manage money. You know anything about stocks? You know anything about real estate? Do you think she get to just run and let? And you say, man, black women be tripping. She tripping, man. She want me to do all this and that, so and so, so and so. No, that's just on the level where she at, and she's trying to see, because you're gonna have someone with a good heart, and they gonna say, okay, let's give it a try, right? She gonna drag you to one of those luncheons or drag you to one of those conferences and whatnot, right? And when the conference is over, she got questions. Okay, so what's the better stock we should invest in, or where we gonna put the real estate money? You know what I mean? We're gonna do it a REIT. We're gonna buy some land. What do we? And you looking like, I like the dress you got on. Ass look good. And down the line, divorce papers. You wonder what's going on, bro. And the reason I'm saying this is because since 2025 hit, it's more knowledge, mind-based thoughts analytical mathematics science now. It's less physical, right? See, when it was physical, when everything was based on the physical, then we react and we thought on the physical. You know what I mean? That's why things were shaped like that. Everything was physical. You have people saying, man, why you pulling the gun? Let's fight. It was physical. I mean, look at it. She bad man pajama. That's a brick house. You know what I'm saying? Everything was strictly, it was all about the physical. The jobs was physical. We lift and labor. Everything was physical, right? Now that we going in this new paradigm, it's more spiritual. It's more analytical, more scientific. It's more thought provoking. It's more about the mind, right, than the physical. It is meaning the mind now is the majority, and the physical now is the minority. So books is really important now. Studying information. When I say books, sometimes you got e-books, you Googling knowledge, information. You know what I'm saying? That's where we at today. I mean, this is the beginning. It's gonna even get deeper and deeper as time progresses. We on the cusp of the thing. We just started. It ain't, you know what I'm saying? But in time, we're getting deeper and deeper and deeper into this thing, right? So you have to position yourself today, create your solid foundation today to where it can ride throughout time. You feel what I'm saying? So, yeah, it is what it is. But I'm telling melanated people, African Americans, Africans, Dominicans, Haitians, Panamanians, people in Belize, Belizeans, blacks from Mexico. Look, y'all have to get it together, man. Y'all gonna have to wait, I'll tell you that. We all gonna have to get, everybody, we're gonna have to get it together. Blacks in Puerto Rico, we all gonna have to get it together, man. Because they gonna show you better than they can tell you. It's easy to come whisper in this person's ear and run over here and whisper in this person's ear, and they fighting each other, right? Nobody questions the one who came doing the whispering. Nobody says, well, like they say, man, I heard you said this. Nobody says, wait. Okay, what you hear and who'd you hear it from? You know, it's usually I heard you said this, and then it's, man, fuck you, and before you know it, bam, they fight. It's on. Gun shooting, so and so. Nobody says, well, where'd you hear it from? Where'd you hear and where'd you hear it from? Right. So, and then when they say, well, I heard, well, I don't even know that person. Matter of fact, come show me that person who told you what they heard. Right? That way both of y'all can go together. You know what I mean? And confront them. Well, why would you tell so-and-so that this and this? And then why would you, you know what I mean? Then both y'all jump on them. Right? Because that's the instigator who goes in there and, you know, heard this and go over there and heard that and said this and try to sabotage this and run over here and try to sabotage that and run up, you know what I mean? It's just, you know, it's time out for it. But really on the strength though, to be honest with you, time, man. Time dictates, man. You don't dictate. You don't dictate the time. The time dictates your response, your reply. Because you can't, if you're not one of the scientists, you can't look into the future and say, oh, this is what tomorrow is. Tomorrow happens. A month from now, a year from now, 4 or 5 years from now, it's gonna happen. And there's gonna be some things that happen that you ain't even seen before. Give me an example. When you were in elementary school, from 30, 40, 50 years back, you didn't know AI was coming. You didn't know it's here now, but you didn't know it was coming. You didn't see the emails coming back when Yahoo was jumping off and AOL was jumping off. You didn't know nothing about that. Per years prior, right? Time dictates your response. Now it's here. Are you gonna adapt? What you gonna do? Or you gonna continue to resist and try to function off of what's outdated, right? Without perfecting what was outdated. Now, if you perfect what was once outdated, when that time comes back around again, you can rock. But you gotta sit and wait for it to come back around to you. If it come back around, when it come back around, what you had has to be strong enough to withstand the new. And if it can't withstand the new, then it's gonna be crushed up under the weight of it. You feel me? All right, there we go. Verbal Radio, we out.